Live natu. I said when we start talking, you. But anyway, so the part of it is it's okay. So what we were talking was scientia. Science word has come from the Latin word scientia. Scientia means to know, and we can say to know as it is, or to know in a true perspective. We can add that. So there is a science inside also. All of us are aware that I am. So I, with mind, speech, and body, inner processing equipments, inner happenings, outer happenings, then are they by chance at random? If not, then there should be some regulatory laws or natural regulatory system as a whole and universe. So it includes the science about or knowledge about everything I, mind, speech, body, inner happenings, outer happenings, how they happen, what are the natural systems or natural laws, and universe as a whole. If we go little in a different words, it tells me about my relative self as well as my real self. People say true self. So what is relative self and what is real self? Or it tells me about how my inner self is functioning, what is mind, what is intellect, what is ego, what is the role of beliefs and opinions. If we just elaborate a little more, in simple words, it gives me the guiding lights or visions required which can enable me to convert my daily living into happy, harmonious, positive, and meaningful living right from there, leading me to the ultimate absolute knowledge or the ultimate truth. Whatever I wish to or aspire to have in this spectrum, it has everything. People may select different spectrums depending on their inner attitudes or inner desires or aspirations. That's fine, but it can offer everything. More importantly, it is for one and all, irrespective of anything, irrespective of caste, color, creed, faith, nationality, socio-economic, or even literary status. Illiterate also can benefit, literate also can get benefited. So it's for one and all, every human being, so to say. It can be beneficial and useful to one and all. Another important aspect, it does not tell you to leave anything. You can continue doing, or we can continue doing whatever we are doing or following. It just adds extra light of understanding, which makes the things smoother, or it helps to achieve our aim or purpose or goal, whatever you say. So this is in brief that whatever we'll talk is has this sector, that this is a sort of holistic inner science, and it's not really a religion or a sect or something like that. It's just a knowledge, and a little more if we add. Suppose we want to do something, whatever work or experiment or something. If I have correct understanding of the fundamentals or truths about that thing, effortlessly I will be able to achieve the desired result. But if I don't have the correct knowledge or correct understanding, or if I don't know the truths or fundamentals, no matter how hard I try, I'll not be able to achieve the results. In fact, puzzles will be more. So it says very simple two things, that incorrect understanding, wrong visions or wrong beliefs lead to all the puzzles on this side. One may have lack of harmony, inner unhappiness or inner unrest, disputes, clashes, whatever you name it. The correct understanding will resolve everything, will give us this, and ultimately can lead me to my ultimate aim or goal. Some people say salvation, others say liberation, whatever word one want to use it. So this is in brief about the what we are going to talk about. Now, you start with some questions and we'll develop onto that. Okay? Anybody, all of us can put something and we can develop onto that. And I'll take care.
Spotlight on you at all. No,
No, you have
no.
privilege. It is not spotlight.
I know.
No, it's a privilege. You have you are being given the privilege to initiate or to talk. Some of us are knowing it since quite some time. So so we always feel that the new aspirant should be given more privilege. You also can talk. What's your good name? Sorry, I could not hear that. Vanita. Okay, so I would love if you also talk. Alain, huh? So feel free to talk anything.
When you're when you're going into meditation, the breathing, what is? I mean, there's so many different
Paths.
methods and
Yeah.
ways.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? what is a good way to start, I guess, as far
All
as
right. So the question is about meditation, that there are different ways of meditation, and most of them start with the breathing, that you focus on the breathing. So, what can be the correct or better ways to start with? That's your question, right? So, okay, we'll elaborate onto that. First of all, in a present times, two words are very catchy: yoga and meditation, right? So, one of them is meditation. So, what is meditation? Why do we need to meditate, or why we meditate? Or what is our aim or purpose, or what do we want to achieve out of meditation? So, these are some initial things which we'll like to know, right? So, usually, what happens is throughout the day, all my attentions are diverted to so many things. In our technical terms, we say chittavritti or reflective consciousness. It's divided in so many things which I'm doing during the day. And I realized that if I can bring them back and keep them with me for a while, I will have a peace, I'll have re energization within myself. My inner energy will be restored. I'll be at more peace and more harmony. So, my initial purpose is to bring back this all shattered and diverted reflective consciousness back to me and try to put it focused for a while, right? That's the initial purpose of meditation. Okay. Now, everybody has problems that, okay, when I attempt to meditate, my mind roams around, goes here, there, it shows me shop, it shows me office, it shows me friend's house, and I try, no matter how hard I try, but it keeps on roaming, right? So that's one question which comes to the people, that how do I meditate, because the mind is roaming. Now, before we go, we'll take that also, that what is mind, what's the how the mind functions, whether the mind roams or it is reflective consciousness which is roaming. So people teach that to try to keep it focused, either they give you some object, that okay, you try to focus on some object or something in the center or some object of your imagination. So that is known as object oriented meditation, trying to focus ourselves onto something. Now, second thing is, people know that if you try to see your breaths, at least for some time, your attention or reflective consciousness will be focused on the breaths. Now, there's a little bit of science there, that breaths and mind are connected. So, if my breaths become rhythmic, my mind for the time being may become little quieter. I myself have tried that before I got into this science when I was a medical student. And we have a lot to cope up with, a lot of subjects and a lot of things, more than the time and energy which we can do, even if we have the good brains. So naturally, this will get tired at some time. So somebody taught us, and the word was very fancy, transcendental meditation. But it didn't mean anything complete. It's very simple, that I just sit in a fresh air by the side of window or something, soothe myself, sit quietly, and try to pick up a word of two or three words, Om or whatever I like, Ram or Om or something. And they say from 5 minutes to 20 minutes you can do. So as I was saying, Om, 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 Om. You notice that by the time of 5 or to 20 minutes, it becomes slower and more rhythmic. So your brain also gets little rhythmic for that time period. You feel little more energy inside you. You feel little more quieter and ready to handle the tasks at hand. So that was my experience with that word, where the rhythmic breaths would lead to periodic rhythmicity of the mind, right? So most of the meditations, initial meditations, are based onto that techniques, or that the people give different names, but that is one aspect of the thing. Now let's go a little ahead and deeper into the meditation. Okay, I have done that. I have felt little more energy, little more quieter. But no sooner I go to the field and somebody says me something annoying, the things are not working according to my instructions. What happens to me? Upset, sometimes burst. So the advantage of meditation is washed away. As soon as I go into my practical living life, if I don't have the understanding how to handle this situation, it will affect me adversely. And whatever advantage I have get in the morning by doing meditation may not last throughout the day. Most of us experience the same thing, right? Now, meditation should be something which is an ongoing process. If I take you deeper into the meditation, this is what the world says is meditation in different ways are attempt to keep yourself focused for some time. Attempt to keep your reflective consciousness quieter and focused for some time so that it will give you little inner peace, little harmony, little energy. But in the language of enlightened ones, every moment, every living being, every human being, let's say not living being, every human being is in one of the four states of meditation. And there, the meditation is state of my being, inside state of my being, which is a constant process, even with open eyes. So ultimately, I have to aim at that. So, what are those four states? First is self disturbing state. I'm not disturbing anybody, but something is happening which my mind is not accepting, and I become upset or disturbed within. Something somebody tells me something, I'm not retaliating, but inside I feel why to me? Why they are treating me like this? Or the your what you can say is your daughter of 2025 has not come till late and the mother feels little anxious within or anxiety for anything, so it's a self-disturbing state. You are not disturbing other. That in technical language is known as artha dhyan. The other state of being is where I'm disturbing somebody else. Somebody says and I have a rage reaction, so my words are harsh, disturbs anybody the other. What happens to me inside, I'll also tell you that. That's the second state. The third stage is inner, peaceful, harmonious, equanimous state. Despite what she said, that despite the diversity of the situations, liked or disliked, I have some understanding within me which can keep me harmonious, maybe effect free or equanimous or balanced from within. That's a desirable state that's known as dharma dhyan. And the fourth is if I know my true self, then it's the state of pure being, Shukla Dhyan. So, in fact, meditation is a spontaneous procedure based on your understanding, your inner awareness, and your inner state of being. And what is more important is all throughout the day rather than what you do in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Yes, it's a good beginning to do for 10, 20, whatever minutes you are doing. But ultimate aim should be to keep it throughout the day. Do you agree with me? Yes. How to do that? I'll discuss that. I'll throw light on that. So whatever method we are following is a good beginning. Good beginning at the focusing. Good beginning of internalizing the things. Because right now we are so much outside that we hardly go within our own self. Here the holistic science says that in one pan there's a weighing scale, two pans. In one pan you put the outer living or outer comforts and amenities, and the other pan you put the inner living and inner happiness. They should be more or less similar or parallel. If the outer happiness is very high but the inner is very meager, then you will not be at ease and peace with your own self and may need psychiatric consultation or sometimes psychiatric medicines too, which is the situation with most of the people in the present world, right? So that's not a desirable. So how then I work for my inner self? That's what the holistic science visions teaches us or guides us about. And each holistic understanding will make my inner state of being much more better. So in other words, my meditation becomes spontaneously better. My inner state becomes spontaneously better. That is one aspect. The second aspect about meditation is, in our language we say is a dhyana. So suppose I'm to go to the airport after, let's say, 4 hours or 3 hours or 5 hours. Automatically, before 3 or 4 hours, my attention will be linked to the airport because that is the object to go, and I as a one gets attached to it. So, meaning thereby, if I know my purpose or goal for the day, short term or long term, my attention will be automatically focused to it, or dhyan or meditation will occur spontaneously. So here comes the value of knowing my short terms and long term goals or purposes. If I don't know my short term or long term aims or goals, where do I focus and where do I go? Right? Even in a car, the GPS asks, please feed the destination address before I can show you the road. Right? Without destination, it will not show us the road. So, are we aware? Have we ever thought about the purpose, aim, or goal which I want to achieve, short term or long term? Yes, we should think. And if we have thought, we should refine it or make it more and more correct, right? So, this is how. So, as you are saying, there are many methods of meditation the people show. And the beginning is either object related or the breath related. Then some people say that sit quietly and become conscious of everything, just remain there, remain in present. So, whatever is happening in the body and whatnot, these are all beginning steps. As we move forward and progress, one is the spontaneous state of being, which I said, which depends on the understanding part. And the second is when I know my true self and nature of my true self, I know that I'm just the knower and seer. And if within myself, if I remain as a neutral witness, neutral observer, or a neutral knower and seer of the things happening within and without, that is the ultimate best meditation. But that will come to stepwise, right? So ultimate meditation is I try to remain in my own original natural state as a pure self, which is just as a knower and seer, no judgmental, but aware, awakened and aware of the things happening inner, my at my mind level, reflective conscious level, intellect, speech and body, and as well as outside. So there are two things. It's one says objects to be known and seen, another is the one which is knower and a seer. That's ultimate state of meditation. Hope I have given you a guideline, and we'll see how it can be achieved as we move ahead. Right? Okay.
So why do they make you breathe through the right nostril and the left nostril? There's a medical science or something there
There,
in
see,
that. I don't know what it is, but why?
see,
What difference does it make what nostril you breathe?
people see. In brief, if I have to summarize, various people try to know the various piecemeal truths about several segments of life and living. So few people worked on the body part, few people worked inside. In a Vedas, we describe five layers. One is this gross body, known as Aharamaya Kosh, means the medical science dissects to the cells, but which can be seen even through the microscope. Then, as you go in, you have breaths, pranamaya sharir, breaths, and which provides the energy to the body. Then, as you go deeper down, you have inner machinery, mind, reflective consciousness, intellect, ego, and the things happening within us. They say manomaya kosh. Then, as we go deeper down, we have blissful state inside, that is anandamaya kosh and vijnanamaya kosh. These two pertains to the real self. So different people worked at different levels. So this right and left breathing and other things, they work, try to work at the body level. But in that, there are so many things and so many truths, and we are really not knowing who knows the best or who knows correct or incorrect, right?
Because it's a
It's
mystery.
very vast field, and unfortunately we don't have the people who are the knowing it correctly. So they say Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi and the effects of that, but in my daily living, how much can I do? And if I try to hold over one small segment, I will miss many segments of my life. So it is better to pick up as a whole and simple understandings which helps me as a whole, rather than to pick up one or other part, right? So everything has little bit of science, but I have two problems: who knows correctly and who knows the correct application. And even if the correct application is there, how much benefit will I get out of it? As I said, I'm doing meditation, but in real life, if something is confronting me, it's lost. So I need something which keeps me throughout the day in a balanced state of meditation from within, right? So that is more important to me rather than the small experiments which the people are trying to teach me. Am I correct? So I will go in a journey like that. Do you agree with me? Yes. So let's start our journey from a simple things, okay? Daily living. All of us want happiness, or somebody wants unhappiness? Obviously, happiness, right? So, all of us, every human being is in search of happiness, simple word, and nobody likes unhappiness. That's obvious, right? Now, let's further ask that throughout my life, whatever I knew, whatever I tried is for happiness. I become educated, I do hard work at the job, I have family, whatever. Now, what is the balance sheet? We take out the balance sheets, right? Money, belongings, everything. Someone takes out annually, someone does it monthly, someone does it fortnightly, someone does it daily. Have we taken out the balance sheet of life? Okay, in happiness and unhappiness, how much happiness we have, how much unhappiness, even though we don't know want it, do we have, which sections, and why? So simple understanding that nobody wants unhappiness, but my understanding or my science or my knowledge, if it is incomplete, it will give me incomplete results. If it is becomes better, it will give me better results. So normally our human mind tries to seek happiness out of competition and comparison. It is correct or it is wrong? If I'm wrong, you can correct me.
Isn't it a balance of there's happy and unhappy,
Yeah.
but it's doesn't the universe balance it all out? Is it not? Is it
No,
not
I
a
agree
balance?
that most of us believe that it has to be mixture or both has to be there, happiness and unhappiness. But that is what we have accepted because we see it all around. But enlightened ones don't accept that. Enlightened ones say that if your understanding is correct, you should have the happiness all throughout. It's not necessary to have unhappiness. So we'll go through that. But we as humans accept it because we see it all around. So if we look at two, three corners, most of the times my mind tries to seek happiness out of competition and comparison, right? I'm happy at India. I have my own house and X amount of earning. But no sooner I come to Edmonton and see Hitabai's home and his, what you can say, assets, I say, oh, I don't have anything much in India, right? So comparison and competition. I'm doing X number of surgeries, earning X amount of money, and if I don't look at others' competition, then I'm happy. But no sooner I see my junior who has come just since 5 years, I'm in practice since 29 years. He has started doing more surgeries than me. Oh, run! I have not done anything. If I don't run, my partner will say, "You are sitting just like that. You should you should be competing with us." Right?
But isn't the point to try to not base on what others are doing? What
Sorry.
you shouldn't look at what others are doing. You should look at what.
No, we should look at the what others are doing, but in an objective way. If I compete to improve myself qualitatively, it is good.
Yeah.
But most of the times I am competing for material belongings, not my self improvement. That's what is leading me to the problem.
Yes.
And what happens there? All the horses run in a race course, right? How many are number one? One. All others are breathless. And number one is also not happy because it has tension that when others will surpass me. Right? So this game is at the level of mind and ego. Mind and ego. Ego gets satisfied or unsatisfied when it says that I'm better than the others or I'm inferior than the others. I want to become happy, but not by in happy within myself. I want to become happy more than him, more than him, more than him, belonging wise or material
But my
things.
happiness is not based on other people. My happiness is based on me.
Yes, if you are wiser, that is the case. But my mind shows me I have iPhone 6. Oh, he got the recent one, iPhone 8 or whatever. I don't know which one is the latest model. So I should have that. Mine is the older one. That is how the world is running. So I'm just making the things aware. I don't say we are doing that, but sometimes we get trapped into this. This is just we are just discussing.
So when you're aware of that, though, then
There is a solution. I'll come to the solution. But first, we should know what is the problem.
yeah.
As a doctor, first we try to find out what is the problem. Then we treat it. We don't treat everything, right? So, competition and comparison are at the level of mind and ego. So, what is the true answer then? What's the way to happy living? Is a normal and natural living. Natural and normal. What is natural means whatever I have brought abilities, I may be good at medicine. I can't compete with my chartered accountant brother. He's good at accountancy. He may earn more than me, but if I try to compete with him, I'm not good at accountancy. Somebody may be good at some work. So if I allow my naturality to blossom and enjoy that, it is good. Can a rose flower become a very good flower in competition to somebody? Does a blueberry, strawberry become very good fruit in competition to somebody? No, it's natural. Similarly, if I allow my naturality to blossom well, it would be a good thing. But most of the times we become unnatural in the society. So this is one. Then there is a normality. Another thing is normality. So the sentence is above normal is also fever, below normal is also fever. If I get 102, somebody will say, go to a doctor, you have fever, take paracetamol, Tylenol, or get yourself treated. If I go to 94 or 95, people will say, go to ICU, you will die, you will become more cold than required. So I should have an optimum 97 or 98. That's a gross simile. Similarly, in all walks of life, suppose I'm liking some sweet and she knows. So she has made the sweets. If I eat more than required, what will happen? I'll be uncomfortable, right? Rather than becoming happy, I'll become unhappy. And if I say no, I don't eat, I have restrained my mind that I'll leave out the thing which is my favorite, then my mind will start jumping. So everything and anything in normality is good for us, not above normal, not below normal. But the key to happiness is still more different. It's a little different. So one of my doctor friends' daughter, who went to US through marriage because she was married there. She was a physiotherapist. She's a physiotherapist. After 2 years, she rang her mom, and these are her real words. Mom, here there is everything in plenty, more than required, because I have seen that they don't know how many shoes they have. They don't know how many clothes are hanging on the wardrobe, whether they have worn particular clothes throughout the year or don't know. But somehow I feel empty within. There is everything in plenty, but I don't know, I feel empty within. So this why so? Because we don't, most of us don't know the real key of happiness. The happiness has to be at the level of heart. So then how does it occur? Very simple. Suppose she decided to arrange this. How many days back you have decided this?
Month.
Month. Okay. Now she has not yet rang anybody, not invited anybody, not prepared anything, not spent $1 from the pocket. But from the moment she decided, ask her whether she start feeling happy.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Stressed out, totally also. But
No, whatever. No, no. Listen, I'm trying to bring out the science. Suppose we have a grandson or granddaughter at our home. The birthday is coming after 1 month. So one of us decides that okay, we'll call few children, have small party, distribute free toffees or chocolates. Yet we have not told our partner also, not invited anybody, but still our face starts smiling. Why? Because whichever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to offer happiness to others do offer happiness to me first. Is that true? Suppose I decide to help someone, guide someone, help someone. Even before I do that, I have fulfillment within starts. Very simple, natural secret that whichever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to help others do help me first. Okay. Do we have any scientific proofs about that? We have. Not only by experience, perception that I start feeling happy, fulfillment, my energy becomes positive, my face becomes smiling. But if I'm put to the machines, my aura pictures will be better. My functional MRI will show positive signals. My SPECT scan will become positive. And today the science has found out, see, there are so many scientists who are in the research of subtle sciences inside. And it is well proven, more than proven, that the negative attitudes or negativities within me. Somebody has told me some bad words and I can't forget it. I'm still carrying negative feelings. Oh, I'll see her, whatever. I have hatred for somebody. I have disrespect for somebody. All this put together can lead to dis-ease. Dis and ease. If you separate the word dis-ease, whatever makes you uneasy from within may result into disease. Similarly, it is also proven that positive attitudes can heal the disease, right? And there are proofs. See, normal Cousins was the person in 17th century. He was told by doctors like us in his days that now, sorry, we can't do anything for you. Better you go home, do whatever you want. So he decided, okay, the current medical science ends here. I'll now try myself. And somehow, with positive attitudes, he can heal himself. Not only he healed himself, but then he started going to various medical conferences, sharing his experiences. And his book, Anatomy of Illness and Head First, was sold in millions because he could bring out that truth. And there are so many things. There is Jem Powolsky, one doctor, MD physician from California. He devised a course, Change Your Mind and You Can Change Your Life. And Course in Miracles, if you heard. Millions and millions people were benefited by that. So now the science has accepted that it is not only the body, it is body, mind, and soul, which is connected. And WHO has revised the definition of health since many years, that it is not the body health only, but body, physical, mental, social, and spiritual health, which is considered as a total health. So I need to look at my inner self. So that is how we were discussing that if I want to achieve the happiness at the level of heart, I should open the happiness shop. Have you seen happiness shop somewhere? How to open the happiness shop? What materials? What is the
Smile.
huh?
Just smile.
Smile is the first step. Yeah, it's very important. We have forgotten to smile. Even if we smile without any internal reservations, it's a good start, I would say. It's a very good tool. But how do I open the happiness shop? From where do I get material? Who will give me the loan? Government banks do not. Inside. Very good answer. Yes. So it is my inner inclination, my inner attitude that from morning to evening, whomsoever I meet, if I can offer some happiness, if I can oblige somebody in some capacity, not necessarily I can spend dollars all the time, but mind, body, speech is the biggest asset. So if I do that, I'll be the first beneficiary. As I said, before obliging others, I'm being obliged myself. Before helping others, I'm being helped myself. On the other side, suppose I'm here and my clinic is, my staff is there. Now, somebody may tell me that, okay, I had gone to your clinic, but during the timings, your staff was absent. They were not opening the clinics right time or they were not there. So, what happens to me? Okay, let me go back and I'll take them to task. I have to teach them some lesson. Okay. Now they are enjoying, but what happens? First lesson I am receiving before I teach them the lesson. I get disturbed, right? So the other side is whatever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to disturb or hurt others do disturb me first. Everybody agrees on to that? It's different that we are not realizing that. Why? Because I'm expert in looking outside, but I have not learned to look within myself, inner awareness. If I start looking within me, I realize that each action of mind, speech, and body before affecting others do affect me first, positively or negatively. So, what should I feed in my software, computer? Hardware is important, but software is still more important. That is what the youngsters to teach me. Hardware may remain same, but you can go on improving upon softwares, and you can work miracles or wonders with the same hardware. So my hardware is my mind, sweet body. My software is my beliefs, my understanding. I can improve upon that. Results will be spontaneously, effortlessly good. So first, by knowing this, okay, before I say that, let me share one more thing. This is my own journey I'm sharing with you. I was reading, everybody had said that live for others. Vivekanand said those who live for others really live. Bible said it is blessed to share rather than to have. So every wise person said that you do something for others. But it was not functioning for me. The knowledge was not getting functional within me. And the knowledge which doesn't become functional, it is a dry knowledge. It's not a really a knowledge or a science. Why it was not working for me? Because my intellect was feeling I'm so busy with my own questions and I cannot finish my task. No, if I get some free time, I'll do something for Hitabai, something for Path, something, because it was the other in my mind. So myself was put and the other was next in line whenever I have free time. But then I realized that no, I'm not doing for them. First, I am doing for myself. Before helping them, I'm being helped. Before obliging them, I'm being obliged. Before making them happy, I'm being happy first. So it became practical and functional for me. Oh, this is for me and not for other. So on realizing this, I realized that there is no other in the world actually. In a worldly language, there is other in the world. In a natural language, there is no other in the world for me. because before affecting them, I'm getting affected similarly, right? So then it started working within me, or it became easy and practical. So I came to the conclusion that world is me only and there is no other in the world from this perspective. So in morning, I feed in my software computer inside that let my mind, speech, and body offer happiness to others or oblige others, and let my mind, speech, and body not hurt others because I don't want to hurt myself. Right? Simple thing, simple change in software. Then if something happens during the day, I'll just recorrect it, okay, from within. Most of the time, since I have fed this thing, it works. If something goes wrong, I'll correct it. Did you like this first key? If we put this simple thing throughout the day, our inner state of being will be good. It will be in a good state of meditation. Experiment that. Now we go ahead. That what disturbs us from within. Sometimes we don't want to get disturbed, but yet the disturbances come or they don't come. They come. Too much. So what? So how should I navigate myself through that? Right. So says we talked about happiness. Now let's talk about harmony. Unless I have inner and outer harmony, inner harmony within myself and outer harmony with the people or situations I'm living into, it is going to give me unhappiness, right? Or stress or whatever you say. I found the definition of stress for myself is little different. Lack of harmony or wherein my harmony is disturbed within and without is stress for me. Do you agree to that point? Then why and what can I do? So let's go to the situation that none of us want clashes, right? Inside or outside. But can it happen sometimes? Then why does it happen? We don't want it. Why it happens? Because I feel I'm right. He feels he is right. He feels he is right. That's a natural tendency, right? So no sooner some discussion comes up that okay, shall we do it this way? I'll say do it this way. He said no, 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 do it this way. He says no, 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 do it this way. Right? Be it at a family, be it at workplace, everybody will put their viewpoints. Okay, fine. I have the right to put forward my viewpoint lovingly, caringly, sharingly, or friendliness. But no sooner I become insistent, what happens? The other person will also start pulling the rope with a double force. So the clashes start. And what happens with the whenever there is a clash, right or wrong? We always feel that we are right, and the clash has occurred because we were right. The other person doesn't understand. The other person points at us that you don't understand. So there is you going on. But what happens whenever there are clashes? We enjoy the meal very much. Even a delicious meal, we don't know what was the taste of the meal because we are, we are, we are engrossed within that. How this can be resolved. So, gives a simple key. First key I gave you about the happiness that open the happiness shop or decide. Second key, try to avoid clashes or resolve the clashes. So no sooner because whenever there is a clash, all of us experience that my mood goes down, my energy gets disrupted, I become unhappy. Sometimes for hours together, I cannot focus onto my work. Right? You have done very good meditation. No sooner there is one clash, for hours together you cannot meditate because that is on your mind. That doesn't allow you to even to focus on the work. Sometimes we say, keep it aside, I'll do it once the inner machinery gets all right. So it takes hours together to replenish or regain our normal energy. So there is a lot of loss of inner energy with each clash. So it's not in my interest that is decided. So I decide to avoid or resolve the clash. No sooner I decide, my inner light will show me the way how to navigate through the situation or resolve the situation amicably with equanimity without entering into clashes. So it gives me the understanding that I'm right, but everyone may be right by his or her own perspective or viewpoints. Is that not true? And humanity is one which takes care of the others' viewpoints also, right? So I decide to resolve the situation amicably with equanimity, and most of the times I get the way or understanding which through which I can navigate through. Now there is a question. So if I have decided to resolve or avoid clashes, should I let go? Should I endure? What do you feel? No. Don't learn to endure or let go, because that is like suppressing your mind, and the suppressed spring will throw everything when it rebounds back. It's not letting you or enduring the things, it is learning to resolve the things. Okay, so that is another second key. Now the third key, we want to move ahead, right? So about the harmony, right at our home or right at our workplace, we definitely wish harmony, right? But it's a big challenge nowadays, don't you feel so? Most of the times it's a big test or a big challenge. Why? Because in a present time, if we look at family or if we look at the surroundings which we are working with interconnected living, or even at a workplace, the personalities are different, right? Most of the personalities are different. Somebody is introverted and likes to speak very less. Somebody likes to talk more. And the talkative person says, throughout the day, you are not speaking anything. The things are not appearing lively. And that person says, throughout the day, you are speaking and speaking and speaking. Please keep silent. No, 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 no. This is just for understanding. No, both are right. But see how the nature is playing, that is what we try to understand. That in the previous times, we had farms around us, at home, at workplace. Farms means everything was similar. If it is blueberry, for miles together you will find blueberry, strawberry, then for miles together that means if the all the people at home, they were speaking less, all were speaking less. If all were talkative, all were talkative. So people were feeling okay, all are similar. In a present times, there are gardens at home as well as all around us. So in gardens, all different varieties are put together, or similar things are put together. Different. Even in a terrace garden, we put all different things, right? So similarly here, all human beings or at family or at workplace are different, but each one with a fruit or a flower. So should we go to a rose and ask for a mango? Should we go to a mango and ask for a rose? Or can we complain about a thorn from a rose? So if I develop this vision, I look at the positive abilities, virtues, or skills of a person and ignore the shortcomings, and I can easily adjust everywhere. So the master key of becoming happy, master key of maintaining good inner state of being, equanimous and balanced inner state of being, or a good meditation is to master the art of adjusting everywhere with all different personalities under all different situations. One who can master this art not only can be happy in this world but can sail to the liberation also, or salvation, whatever word you want to use. But this gradually can be learned, and the adjustment is like a sugar in a milk. Does the sugar ask what toned or how much fat milk this is, from which dairy it is? No, it just gets dissolved into the sugar and makes whatever milk is there, it makes sweet. So it's like adding sugar in a milk. And adjustment or adjusting everywhere is an art where our mind has no complaint. Mind gets the result. It happily adjusts. Not that with something complaints at mind you cannot adjust. So with a correct understanding or correct vision, we can adjust everywhere. And if we learn this art in a music, if there is only one tune, does the music look good? No, all different tunes, but they when they are played in harmony, the music becomes very good. So adjust everywhere is the third key given by this holistic science. Do you like that? Yes. Shall I go to the fourth key? Okay. I'll give six or seven keys for the daily living. Then again, we'll move to the another aspect. The fourth key is win your own home. Home where we're living, world need not be conquered. The whole world I'm not bothered about. But my own home or my surroundings wherein I'm living or interconnected living, that should be one means heartily, not by power. So today the world has, I'm seeing that there are two situations. Interconnected living, I'm living mind, body, speech wise with different people, my family members, my relations, my workplace. I do not know how to live in interconnected living. And that's what is causing the problem. One or two things we shared about happiness, about avoid classes, about adjust everywhere. Some people feel, why should I have the more of interconnected living? I'm happy within my own self, or I and husband and wife, and shell is very narrow. Sometimes one goes away and the shell still becomes narrower. But there is loneliness. The people feel lonely today. They have everything, but loneliness has become so big a problem. Then they have to keep a pet or a puppy who gives a company, because they don't know how to live happily in interconnected living. And the ancient enlightened ones gave the aphorism parasparanu jivanam, meaning thereby the living beings or human beings can only do well and live well by obliging each other. It's interconnected way of living. We'll talk about love also. But before that, let me touch upon these two parts, that I have to win my own home, one need not be conquered. The husband and wife forms a cooperative society or a company, 50-50% shares, right? And company should do well, good profits. That's fine. But so long as both have good understanding, it works well. Otherwise, the two I do remain separate, or they become one. Do they submerged into each other, or they remain with individual identity? What do you think?
Should remain individual, but they probably kind of one.
Yeah, they will remain as individual identity, but as long as one eye is loving, sharing, caring, and friendly with the other eye, it's a win-win situation. So it's a best friendly relation. If they understand to live as best friends, it's a win-win situation all throughout the walk, all walks of life, not only one walk. So nature has made this arrangement that live as best friends and help each other, become complementary and supplementary in each walks of life. But if I don't know, and unfortunately there are no universities who teaches these courses. I have to learn it hard way around, through going through the life and sailing through the hard waters. So if one eye tries to win over the other, the show starts, right? So one should not use the word you and me or mine and yours, but one should use the word we or ours. So that should be the attitude. Then it's a win-win situation. Similarly, parent-children relation is also a test. Our relation with our parents is also worthwhile knowing, but we leave it aside for the while. But as we were talking about interconnected living, I came across a study done by Harvard University. It's the longest possible study, which they said 75 years. So many researchers also changed, but they kept track, and they had very large database. You can google it out and find out Harvard study of 75 years, and you will see the findings that from childhood they followed the people to the old age, and many researchers. But the conclusion of the research was they found those more happier and more healthier, those who have good relations, interpersonal relations, warm and cordial, rather than anything else. That was one aspect which they could find out from their study. Why I'm putting two side by side? Because our modern intellect always wants to have something sustainable or proof, which present understanding gives. So now let's join or correlate with the holistic science wisdom. So it says that in interconnected living, as we said, world is me only, there is no other in the world. So how I would be living with the world? Now let's come to another word, love. Have you experienced love at how many places and how many forms? Is it so big a question? I thought it's a very simple question. Eh? Sorry,
It's everywhere.
it's everywhere. Okay, yeah, that's good if I have the vision that it's everywhere. But most of the times what happens that except mother child love, if you see at all other places, does it increase and decrease, or it remains same?
I think you see it increase. I think you see it high and low. I think
Yeah,
it's every range of the spectrum.
yeah. But if it is increasing and decreasing, waxing and waning, why it happens so? Because if somebody behaves according to my expectations, my love increases. No sooner somebody 10 times one has behaved as according to my expectation, 11 times somebody may not behave as per my expectation and my love falls down. So is it a love or it is a bargain? Worthwhile thinking. Our loves are more often a bargain based on our expectations and conditions, like a consumer and a merchant. If one delivers goods according to my satisfaction, my love increases. No sooner one cannot deliver the goods according to my expectation, one cannot behave. One has right to disagree. My love falls. So that is really not the love. The love is one which remains constant, irrespective of expectations and conditions, met or not met.
But your children.
That is a true love. That's a true love. So, if I can see true love, there is no animal in the world who will not like the true love, not leave aside human beings. Even the pets or animals will also recognize true love, or whether my owner loves me or not. So, love is an elixir, but how one can cultivate the love? And another, I'm sharing another secret key with you, that our love is based most of the times on reciprocation. I try to love you, become friendly with you, but either you are not responding or you are responding differently. So, will my love continue for you? I'll shut my doors. Okay, if you are not bothered, why should I be? That's a human nature, right? But enlightened ones go one step ahead. Whether you love me or not, my heart is full of love for you, because I know that if I have love for everybody, my heart will remain full always. I will never feel lonely and I will be first beneficiary. So my self interest should not be dependent on anyone else. So with that understanding, they can have true love for all living beings, and they are always at a higher state of inner and outer happiness. So little change in our perception can lead us to a higher states of being, means higher states of meditation, higher states of living, higher states of whatever you say, consciousness or awakening or whatever word one wants to use. Little improvements or refinements of our understanding. Do you think this works? Yes. And last word about our daily living. I shared almost 6 keys with you. Which were the 6 keys? Happiness, open happiness shop, or decide that my mind, speech, and body offer happiness or oblige others and not hurt. Second is avoid clashes. Third is adjust everywhere. Fourth is win your own home, including our homely relations. Fifth is interconnected living at all places, and where we touched upon how we can understand the value of interconnected living. And a part of it is love or relations and love. And the seventh will share about self-interest and positive vision, right? That will make totally 8 subsections of our daily living. Are we aware of our self-interest well? I'm not talking of bank interest. I'm talking of self-interest. Interest means bank interest. Arun Bhai will say this bank offers more, 0.5% more. So put the deposits there. For example. So some people find out that the Canada doesn't give interest, for India gives, so put the NRI deposit there. So they will give more interest. Eh? No, they're just joking, humorously talking. So are we aware of our self-interest? Yes or no?
Not always.
Not always. Very good. Not always. Why? Because I do not have the correct understanding in all walks of life. So not that I want not to be aware, but because I don't have awareness or understanding, it doesn't lead me to the overall vision. So let's examine that. Okay. Self interest, I mean, in terms of my inner happiness, my inner harmony, my inner positivity, meaning of life, as well as much more than that. Whichever puts me to this is in my self interest, whichever takes me away from this is not in my self interest. Okay. So let's examine this. What is in my self interest? Sometimes five people have gathered together, and fourth or fifth minute they start criticizing someone. Especially in India, it is the similar situation. So, is it in my self interest to find fault with someone and try to condemn or criticize? Or is it in my self interest to find one good quality or virtue and try to appreciate someone? because that will make me happy first, or will have good feelings within me rather than criticizing. So, is it in my self interest to keep a note of someone who has behaved badly or spoken bad words and try to take the revenge or teach a lesson to him or her? Or is it in my self interest to forgive, forget, and move ahead? Right? It appears difficult, but at least I realize that this is it not in my interest to keep a burden here, that he has spoken two bad words to me. So that keeps me bugging and it becomes a burden to me, rather than if I can some way find a way where I get rid of myself and move ahead. So similarly, one more word is said here. It is less applicable in our part of the world. It is more applicable, that dishonesty is the base foolishness. Dishonesty is the base foolishness. Initially, we were saying honesty is the best policy. Now, in the modern world, with a fast paced life, most of the times we convince ourselves that always it is not practical to remain honest. Outside, we may remain honest, but husband may not remain honest to the wife may not remain 100% honest to the husband. Not that but telling the things as they are, or something like that. Or the employee may not be 100% honest to the manager or boss may not be, management may not be honest to the employees for the so-called interests. But here, the thing is dishonesty is the best foolishness. How? I try to understand and reason it out in scientific way. So I was thinking. So I realized that okay, no sooner I try to become dishonest. Suppose I have a patient. Some doctors say, "Oh, your cataract is very advanced and you must get it removed and come soon, otherwise it will get." And when they come to me, I see that, oh, you can reading 6 lines out of 7, so it's no hurry. So why so? So if I try to become dishonest to someone, there will be stress starting within me. There will be inner clash. So for the sake of happiness, I'm trying to do this. At the very moment, it is leading me to inner unhappiness, but I'm not realizing it because I'm not aware about it. And the lie detector machine also can find out that he's bluffing. The machine is not live. How can it find out that this is he's telling a lie? Because my respiration may become fast, my heart rate may become fast, sometimes my blood pressure may shoot up. So if machine can detect this, what may be the disadvantage or adverse effects within me? So this way, if I understand a little bit, I will be able to choose what is in my interest and what is not. And then my happiness or harmony will not be disrupted, otherwise it may be disrupted. So ultimately, I become aware that this anger, greed, pride, and deceit, which everybody is housing, without rent, they are within us. We give them shelter, they don't pay us any rent, but we give them food, right? So are they my best friends or are they enemies? What is in my self interest? To preserve and nourish anger, to preserve and nourish pride, to preserve and nourish greed, or to get try to get rid of or minimize them, balance them. It's a tough challenge to balance them.
Well, they help you grow though. If you are aware of them, and then before you send them packing and say goodbye to them, they help you realize where your shortcoming is. So
Yes,
it helps you.
yeah.
It is not a negative thing. You use that to learn even deeper where your potential beliefs
No,
are
that's agreed.
erroneous.
Agreed. Partly agreed.
Ah,
Partly agreed. But most of us, rather than realizing and using it for good virtues, we are getting hurt. We don't know. We'll share something simple with you. Suppose some good friend has invited us for a party, maybe birthday party, maybe marriage ceremony. She says, enjoy, everything is there, good food, and becomes busy with lot other friends and managers and higher people, and we are left alone. Would we enjoy food or like to run away from there?
I don't know. Especially if she's cooking or she's cooking.
No, that is a
I
different story.
understand.
So my pride may come up that I am not being attended properly. Even though everything is there, my pride comes up. I am not being attended properly. The others are attended better than me. And it may come up and may make me run away or feel like running away, or may take away my enjoyment for a while. So, similarly, in each instance, sometimes they may act adverse against our inner happiness or inner harmony. So, just be aware that they are not our good friends. Most of the times, they work like enemies. It's different because we accept them because we don't know the way to get out of or get rid of them. So, we accept the situation. Okay, it is all right. If you are imprisoned, you don't have way out of to get out of prison. You paint the prison and you live happily there. Okay, this is the situation. Let me make it enjoyable. But if somebody shows you the way out to the prison, oh, why I was in imprisoned so much for so long. So it's like this, that ignorance is not bliss here. Ignorance makes us suffer, but we accept it because we don't have the other dimension of the light or how to get free of them. So this and last word is about positive vision, seventh, eighth is. So do the circumstances and the people around us are responsible for making us happy and unhappy, successful and failure, or the world within us? Is the outside world more important or the inside world is more important? Yes. But what do we do most of the times? My all energy, my efforts, my attention, is it more for outside world or is it more for inside world? Even though we say that my inside world is important, hardly I know about my inner world functioning. Hardly my focus is inside. Most of the times it's outside. So that's another thing. So the enlightened and wiser ones say that it is not the situations or people who are independent, who are having independent powers to make you happy or unhappy. It is your vision of looking at the things which can make you really happy or unhappy. I cannot change the world, but I can certainly change my spectacles or can remove the cataract. Okay. Because the people do come to me. I say, he says, I'm seeing blurry. Okay. So he feels the whole world is blurry. The world is not clear. But little bit correction, oh, world is clear now. So, so it is vision of looking at the things. So enlightened one says it is the belief or vision which is really important rather than the situations or people. And in fact, we make our world, but that will come to later on. So how can I change it for positive, right? So does anyone of us like difficulty in life? Given a choice, does anyone like the difficulty in life? But they do come. So the wiser ones say the favorable is food, unfavorable is vitamin. Do you like vitamin or do you don't like? We are in search of one pill. If it works, we may not have to have the struggle throughout the kitchen because that gives all the nourishment. Science is trying to make one. Anyway, how the unfavorable is vitamin?
But the joy comes from
No, that is a different story. I'm just don't just, no, I agree with that. I'm just trying to put one aspect, not the entire thing. So how the unfavorable works good for me? Because the difficulties give me opportunity to improve from within, to explore my inner energies and abilities, which through which I can go through them. So I become more matured, a better person when I pass through them. So even Einstein said, there lies opportunity in every difficulty. It is his quote. There lies opportunity in every difficulty. And even when Edison was said by his was told by his colleagues that, sir, we failed 200 times or whatever number he said. So he was a natural scientist. He said, we have not failed 200 times. We knew that these 200 methods don't work. The next will work. And they could found out the bulb. I could have left it. Oh, these many things don't work. Leave it. Frustratedly. He was not frustrated. He looked at different perspective and he became successful. So similarly, the wiser ones say, holistic scientists said that I will invite the person who criticizes me, who says me hurting words first for tea. We never invite. We cancel the name from the invitation list. If somebody has spoken something bad to us, then why they invite them for tea? Because they say that such people give me opportunity to introspect and improve. If all are goody goody, I'll feel that I'm all the best in the world. I will not look within or introspect or improve. So they give me opportunity to introspect and improve. With their washing machine and their soap, means their time and energy, they wash away my egoism, keep it normal, don't allow it to get hyperinflated, gives their energy to me, and makes me free of one karmic bond. So there are four advantages. So they see positive in everything. Okay, how this is benefiting me from within, not in a worldly view, but from this perspective. If my perspective or vision is correct, I can get benefited in any and every situation. As a doctor, I'm witness to this event that he got a fracture neck femur at his age of 76 or something. And he opted not to get operated. So he was in a bed for 2 months with a traction. So suppose if any one of us is in a bed for 2 months, what would be our face like? She comes, oh, you get fractured. I repeat the story. I woke up at night and my pit slipped, and there's 2 months it will take to heal, and another 2 months for physiotherapy. Every time my mouth will, or my sadness will increase or happiness will increase. They take my tea, and snacks, and biscuits, and my unhappiness increases. They are not responsible. No, they are not responsible. My perspective is wrong. That is what I'm saying. His face was always smiling. Not for a moment his smile had withered from his face. Two perspectives. He used to say fracture had occurred at that second. From the next moment, it has started joining. It's a medical truth also. So, should I cry over that moment when the fracture occurred, or should I rejoice the moments now when it is joining? So, change of perspective, they could see, we could not. And as a soul, he was different. So, that's all right. But it's a little change in perspective, and everything and anything can help us to grow from within, to remain happy, harmonious, to progress from within from this perspective. Okay. So here we take a little break. I just shared the journey of our daily living. Then there are deeper truths. We'll touch upon that. But let's have a small break here, small interval to reflect onto this and have a pause for a while. हाँ चलो એકાદ પદ બદ ગાવું હોય તો ગાઈ શકો બીનવાલ નાનું કઈ તો કે યુટ્યુબમાં જવાનું યુટ્યુબમાં ઓપન જેએસએસ સત્સંગ અને પછી લાઈવ અથવા આજનું ખોલશો તો ડોક્ટર શો હા જા કર મારે છૂટ આમ ફાઈન જરૂર નથી આની ફાવ વધારે પડતું નહીં નહીં પણ પછી પાછું થશે ઓકે થેન્ક યુ ના 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 આઈ અંડરસ્ટુડ ધ પોઈન્ટ I was worried it will roll out. એક જ નાનું પદ ગાવું હોય તો 4-5 લીટે ગાઈ શકું પડતું બીજા બધાને માટે.
એના ઘરે હું ગુરુ પૂર્ણિમા એના મમ્મી ડેન્ટિસ્ટ છે એટલે બી પર આવશે એટલે આવડે એવું બધાને કોઈ બી ચાલશે એટલે આગળ બધા બહુ બધા ગયા આવે છે ચલો ભક્તિ કરતા એટલે આમાં છે ને અને આપણે શેર કરતો ને આપણે એડમિન્ટન
અંજુબેન શેડ્યુલ શું છે એમને પૂછ્યું પ્લાનિંગ એન્ડ શેડ્યુલ what's the proposed schedule?
The proposed schedule is lunch around noon, but snack or just something.
Them timings
10 to 12.
So we have time. હજી તો 10:50 થયા ને. So we have a lot of 1 more hour. Okay, fine.
And then lunch.
That is okay. I am concerned with my timing.
No, you can.
ખાલી કઈ ડ્રિંક જરા કાપી દો બસ. Anything little to drink.
Somebody mislabeled. ના એ નથી નીચે બી સ્પીકર તો થતું નહીં એક્સ્ટ્રા ચાર્જ
હા થોડુંક ગાવ ને તો વાતાવરણ રહે ને જરાક આપણે રીસ્ટાર્ટ કરીએ ત્યાં સુધી.
બીજું આવ્યું હવે ફરીથી કહો.
Giving friendship, or should I just give this? And that's what I should. I'll keep that.
ખાવું નથી કઈ ખાવું નથી
હા, થોડું
ખાલી લિટલ ટુ ડ્રિંક એનીથિંગ આ બંધ કરી દઉં રેકોર્ડિંગ હમણાં
दिए हूँ ठाकुर एवी शक्ति दो
ભક્તિ કરતા કદીએ હું થાકું એવી શક્તિ દ્યો.
भजता कसूये हूँ याचू नहीं एवी भरती
He must be knowing how to handle kids well.
भजता कसूये हूँ याचू नहीं एवी भरती पापो प्रवेशे ज नहीं बुद्धि मन द्वार थी एवी मजबूती जो पापो प्रवेशे ज नहीं बुद्धि मन द्वार थी एवी मजबूती जो चेतन विकल्पीने कई दुख आपू ज नहीं वृत्ति अहिंसी जहो चेतन विकल्पीने कई दुख आपू ज नहीं वृत्ति अहिंसी जहो चित चंचलता क्या ये लपटे ज नहीं निर्मल स्थिरता जो चित चंचलता क्या ये लपटे ज नहीं निर्मल स्थिरता जो अंतर शांति वदे हर पल क्षण उदोदय एवं आध्यात्म हो अंतर शांति वदे हर पल क्षण उदोदय एवं आध्यात्म हो भक्ति करता कदिए हूँ थाकू नहीं एवी शक्ति द्यो भक्ति करता कदिए हूँ थाकू नहीं एवी शक्ति द्यो कर्म कौशल्योद्यम पूर्णवात्सल्यमय योगे सहयोग जो कर्म कौशल्योद्यम पूर्णवात्सल्यमय योगे सहयोग जो घर जित सुख आने शांति हो प्रीतिमय लक्ष्मी सात्विक हो घर जित सुख आने शांति हो प्रीतिमय लक्ष्मी सात्विक हो खोटी कमाणी न માયાવી પરપોટે અતિક્રમો નહીં નિશ્ચય સમકીત હો કાયા માયાવી પરપોટે અતિક્રમો નિશ્ચય સમકીત હો મિત્રો સંબંધીઓ સાથે હો નિરપેક્ષ ભાવ સૌહિત સૌભાગ્ય દ્યો મિત્રો સંબંધીઓ સાથે હો નિરપેક્ષ ભાવ સૌહિત સૌભાગ્ય દ્યો માફી માંગવી પડે એવું બોલું જ નહીં પ્રેમલ વાણી વહો માફી માંગવી પડે એવું બોલું જ નહીં પ્રેમલ વાણી વહો ભક્તિ કરતા કદી હું થાકું નહીં એવી શક્તિ દ્યો ભક્તિ કરતા કદી હું થાકું નહીં એવી શક્તિ દ્યો મુક્તિ ભજતા કસુએ હું યાચું નહીં એવી ભરતી દ્યો મુક્તિ ભજતા કસુએ હું યાચું નહીં એવી ભરતી દ્યો જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ
So shall we restart our journey ahead? Anjuman?
Yes, you carry on the journey.
Okay. So if you have any more questions, you can put in between. So I'll try to include that in the journey further. Or you can tell me as it comes. You can interrupt me in between, no problem. Okay? The control is in your hands. Happily given. So if we carry on our journey ahead, then we did discuss that by inner world is more important than outside world, right? So let's try to discover the world within, as we say. Discover the world. Joylin. So as I try to discover my world within, the first simple question, again humorous, we ask ourselves two questions. Who drives us? Right? Car has a good driver. Hitabai drives very safely and good. So I feel happy that my car driver is good. Or companion, not driver. Similarly, computer has also drivers, right? If the drivers are corrupt, then he says that reinstall the drivers, it won't run. So who drives me? Body is being driven. So the drivers are within me. The things which is driving me, making me do the things. So which are the drivers? How they do they function? We'll have our journey along that lines. And second simple humorous question. If we have a big LCD TV screen in home and 10-15 of us are sitting, what our mind says, remote should be with me or with somebody else? Of course, we can't say that, but our mind will say it is better if the remote is with me, right? No, that's obvious. So,
Middle daughter. Ishana.
Please. What's the name?
Ishana.
E.
Yeah.
Spell it for me.
Eshana.
Ishana. Good. Welcome, Ishana. So in between you can ask anything, you can share anything, right? Please feel free. We are at home. You are at home. So I also feel at home. Okay. So let's feel at home, informal and friendly. So yes, obviously I wish my mind wish that remote should be with me. Now where is the remote of my life? With me or with someone, or where outside, or what do you think? Remote of life is with us or with anywhere else? Ishana. I had a question, humorous question. That suppose we're all sitting in the drawing room and there's big LCD screen. My mind will wish that remote should be with me, right? So then, where is the remote of my life? With me or with elsewhere?
With you. With yourself.
Should be,
Yeah.
or is it?
Oh, it should be. Yeah.
So when the remote goes elsewhere,
When does it go?
how does it go elsewhere, or when
When
let's
you
say
see it
how
somewhere else.
yeah, someone says me two bad words and I become upset. So then remote is with not with me but has gone somewhere else, which is not a desirable situation, right?
Yeah.
So how can I avoid that?
You just don't give them the remote.
Yes.
You just don't.
No, so my understanding should be such that I can navigate through the situation without losing my remote,
Yeah.
or with keeping my remote with me. Anyway, these were the some humorous remarks. So in the first part, we discussed some simple understandings or keys which can make my daily living happy, harmonious, positive, and meaningful. Now we are discussing the world within us, because I had posed a question to everybody that for my success and failure, for my happiness and unhappiness, whatever word I use it, what is more important, the world outside me or world within me? Yes. So everybody replied very correctly. But in mathematics, the mathematics teacher would say the correct answer fetches half 50% marks. The rest 50% goes to the method. The method should be correct. So now how my inner world is more important? Or do I know my inner world more? Or am I knowing my inner world well? So we have started our journey to know our inner world a little better way. We know, but we want to know it little better way. So I can better make use of it, make it, or if possible I can make best use of it, if not better, but at least better. So as I was again asking them, who drives us? The car has a driver, the Google car has sensors as drivers, and the computer also has drivers. So who drives us? What do you think? Who drives us?
We drive ourselves.
Okay, we drive for ourselves, yes, but what is we? That what is that we? Or I am driving, I drive myself. What is that I who is driving? That needs little more elaboration.
Yeah.
So body is being driven. So I have inner machinery. The first part of the inner machinery, my inner world, is known as the my relative inner self. Relative, this is outer self which can be photographed. My relative inner self, I am aware, I know that it is happening something, but the photograph cannot be taken. So that is why I said relative inner self. When I use the word relative inner self, I will also define what is real self, but a little later stage. So my relative inner self has first component, which comprises of mind. Some people say only mind, but little more elaboration is mind, reflective consciousness, intellect, and ego. It is four parts, right? Mind, reflective consciousness, which keeps on wandering, sitting here. It can go to friend's house, it can go to club, it can go to India, it can go to USA, anywhere. It doesn't need any ticket. It keeps on roaming. So reflective consciousness, intellect, and ego. So let's see, this is first part. But they say we are not the only ones who are doing the job or deciding. We'll see how they function. We are under the influence of beliefs and opinions. Life is nothing but bundle of beliefs and psychological and physiological effects arising out of beliefs. This is a research subject. You need to research onto that. I repeat it. Life is a collection or bundle of beliefs, various beliefs in various all aspects and fields and whatever you say, and effects, psychological as well as physiological, arising out of beliefs. Then opinions. Then again, beliefs and opinions say we are not the only ones. We are again under the influence of our intents and motives. Intent.
But then that influence us, we ultimately decide how we act.
Yes, 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 yes. How we act is being driven by all these things. So activity may be looking at similar, but again the intents may be different. See, three doctors operating same way, doing their practice. Each one may have a different intent. One may have intent, let's collect more and more money because I have spent so many precious years in studying. So how best I can generate money. The other doctor may have the intent, okay, I'm doing job, so let me do my job properly. The third may have intent, if I can be useful to someone to soothe some or alleviate the miseries over and above my job which is given to me by nature. So intents and motives, they are similar words. Then they say we are not the only ones. We are also under the influence of someone. Who are the subtle parts? Anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment, and aversion. Anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment, and aversion. We'll talk little about everything. They say we are not the final controllers. There is a something above us, or something can moderate us, and that is my correct or incorrect understanding or discriminatory understanding vision, which tries to decide what's good, what is bad, what's in my self interest, what's not in my self interest. And at the top of all of that, I is there. So that I is being driven by all these things, Captain. So we'll talk about everything, right? Do you think it is interesting? Little bit, little bit. Okay. So let's talk first about the mind, reflective consciousness, intellect, and ego. How this inner apparatus functions. People say my mind is roaming, right? It wanders here, goes there, but it is not really mind. It's reflective consciousness which wanders. So what is the mind and how to make deal with the mind? Sometimes people say, oh, I'm unhappy, my mind is very agitated or goes here and there, it doesn't remain stable and whatnot. Say yes or no. People try to control mind. How best can we control mind?
Try to bring it to the now from where it is.
I understood. Okay, you try to bring it to the now. But there are so many issues. The mind keeps on bubbling. Why they behaved like this to me? Why to me? Why such things to me? And it seeks the answers, right? Why to me? How? What? When? So mind is to be understood. If the thoughts are good, we feel happy. Oh, my thoughts are good. But if it starts showing unwanted thoughts, then
You
unfortunately,
push them away.
eh?
You push them away, or you.
Yeah, you have to keep yourself away. Very good answer. But most of the people get baffled because the manufacturer has forgotten to put the pause or stop switch there. Every toy can be paused or stopped. This particular toy cannot be paused or stopped. Can it be paused or stopped? No, it keeps on showing you the thoughts. Sometimes stop, allow me to sleep. We'll see next month. No, I want to show you the thoughts after. So mind is a physical machinery like thing which keeps showing us thoughts after thoughts after thoughts after thoughts, relevant and irrelevant, liked by us or disliked by us, useful or not useful, whatever. So sometimes people say that meditation is a state where I can stop my thoughts or there are no thoughts in the mind. But it is how long it would last? Few seconds, few minutes? How long it lasts? Hardly ever, because it is unscientific. That's not the case. Because I don't know what the mind is, that is why I'm trying to arrest the mind. No, mind has, it's like an ongoing film. I'm sitting here and film is going on and on and on. It's like showing me the thoughts. Now one professor came to the holistic scientist and requested that if you are knowledgeable, can you stop my mind, because otherwise I'm very happy, but my mind is very hyperactive. Some people have hyperactive mind, right? For example. So says, okay, I can do that, but you have to have the 5 witnesses to sign for you that I have requested to stop the mind. So all are my friends and they will sign for me. What is a big in fuss about that? So okay, if they sign, I'll do it, but then you'll become absent-minded. Would that be all right?
If you can clear your mind, you're open to things around you.
No, clearing the mind is different. Here the concept preference was different. That stop my mind or means make it quiet, means quiescent, but then it's not useful because the people become absent-minded, and that's not good. Mind is a useful GPS or navigation tool to navigate through various situations. But I should know how best to use my mind because mind shows me various options. Mind shows me, suppose there is a proposal, she might have ranked so many people. So mind of different people would have shown different options. Some people would have mind shows come here, then says, no, 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 we are getting hardly one time, so little time. So let us finish the homework, or let us finish that work, or let us go to friend's home, or whatever. So mind shows us various options for whenever any proposal or any task comes. Reflective consciousness goes here and there. Then intellect decides which is good and bad, profit and loss from the reference it has. It decides to come here if it has a priority of inner development. If it decides to go to friend's place, if it is a priority of that sort of relations. It decides to go to some other place if one wants to have develop business relations or whatever. So there is a parliamentary system going on, and once the majority is attained by mind plus intellect or reflective consciousness plus intellect, Mr. Ego has to sign it, president, and then the activity of the body starts. So, how do I use my mind? I have to side as yes for the thoughts which are in line of my purpose or aim or goal, or which are good or in my self-interest. All others I should allow them to pass away or ignore them. Do we pay any attention how many cars are going on the road? No. Except somebody known is going to come. Oh, the car of Hitabai has come. So the thoughts which are useful to us in line of our aim or goal should be signed as yes. Otherwise, allow others to pass away. That is key one. Key two, if my mind is bothering me a little more or going here and there, means showing unwanted thoughts, I can put this music if some unwanted sound is coming. So I can engage myself into something positive, inspirational, or serene or something, so that this phase of disturbance of mind will pass away, and I can be make the useful make good use of my time during that phase. If it is still bothering, I can ask for inner energy, not to go, not to be dragged by that unwanted thoughts or bad thoughts. And the fourth important key, if we are standing on a seashore and there are big tides and ebb tides, do we enjoy or we get frightened? We are standing a little away on a seashore and there are big tides and ebb tides. Do you enjoy or get frightened? Huh? Enjoy. No, she's right. Enjoy because you are seeing that, right? And that scene is enjoyable. But if you go in, then oh, frightened, I will be dragged. Similarly, if I get entangled with my mind, it will baffle me. But if I step back and see, as you said, when the mind is showing different things, if I step back and just see, it will not frighten me, but I'll enjoy. Okay, mind is dancing like anything, showing the different steps of dance. So step back and see the mind, and ultimately, what is the best way of mind control or getting it to the best use are two things. One, if I'm sitting here and some movie is going on in the screen and some scenes are liked by me, some are unliked by me, do I go and fight with the screen? Do I tear the screen? No, I enjoy sitting. Oh, these are scenes away from me. I'm just the viewer. And if I don't like, I may shut my eyes for a while, allow them to pass it. Similarly, the body is a theater, mind is a film, and I am the viewer. If I know become aware that I am the knower and seer, I'm the viewer of the mind, mind is separate from me, I'm not the mind, then it will not baffle, but just go on like the passing screen or passing views on the screen. And it will be a best useful tool whenever the thoughts and other things are good. I'll sign as yes, otherwise view and allow them to pass away. So this is one part as a mind. Second part is reflective consciousness, which tastes happiness and unhappiness, which wanders outside, inside also. So it keeps on wandering at so many places where I have believed happiness to be. I try to sit in meditation, or the students try to sit for learning, trying to focus. But the reflective consciousness goes to previous days dance party or other party or whatever, which it has enjoyed because there is impression onto that. How to bring it back and keep it focused? That was your question when you started with meditation. So it's all about reflective consciousness, right? So if I want to bring the reflective consciousness within me or keep it contained or something, because it carries energy also, not only the experience of happiness and unhappiness. So how do I do that? So one of the key is it is in search of happiness, right? So if a small child is holding a chocolate and I'm tempting, "Okay, I will give you a big Kit Kat, give me," will he or she give? But if I offer the Kit Kat, then he or she will grab the Kit Kat and leave the chocolate because he or she knows that this is better or tastes better. Similarly, if I can make my reflective conscious taste the superior happiness, it will leave the inferior and grab the superior one. So when I can make it taste the happiness within me or with the tools which take me internally, it leaves the outside things or it appears less tasty and comes it back. So one key is make it taste the superior happiness. We are sitting here since more than an hour, right? 1 hour, 1.5 hour. So does the chit remain reflective consciousness has remained most of the times here, or it has kept wandering? Most of the times it is here, right? Yeah. No, it is true. But when we try to meditate, most of the times it goes out. Why? Because even though indirectly we are talking, we are tasting the happiness from within. How can we say that happiness from within? The happiness which is not derived from food of five senses. There is no good views, no good music, no good taste of food yet given. It will be given after the session is over. But yet, so the happiness which is not coming through the food of five senses, which is not coming from food to anger, greed, pride, or deceit, is the happiness coming from the pure self or from within. So even if it is indirect, it is making us happy. So this reflective consciousness remains steady. It sits there. So if we can taste direct, then it will stop wandering by and large to all these things and will remain inside. Meditation forever, right? So that is the secret of about the bringing back reflective consciousness or keeping it aside. Then there are some other simple experiments also. Let's suppose if I'm singing any hymn or a mantra or whatever, then if I close my eyes and try to read the letters as if they are written in front of me, for that particular time, my reflective consciousness will focus, try to read that with a closed eyes. So, but these are some simple exercises. Third is intellect. Now, intellect is indirect light coming through ego. So my ego, so my intellect being used. If my ego is positive, trying to help someone, my intellect will show me the ways how I can be helpful to someone. But my ego is being used negative. How can I pull the leg of that person? How can I sort of bring him down and go myself up? Then my intellect will show me such ways. So intellect is indirect light coming through the medium of ego. And unfortunately, in the present world, intellect has gone very high, but many times it is being used adversely, not knowingly, so harms others as well as me also. If it is used righteously, it will benefit others as well as me also. And important is Mr. Ego precedent, right? So ego, everybody is having ego. Can we keep away from ego? What is ego? Ego is my I-ness, existential state of being. I am. Everybody is aware I am. But how my ego is functioning is important. So there are three sentences. If you want to become happy, use your ego positively. Help, love, care, share, remain friendly, or whatever. Now, if you see, all these different human beings are nothing but different manifestations of ego. Gandhiji decided I must make India free. So that led him to such internal energy, and all the things came his way. That is also one kind of ego, but used positively. Some will use ego negatively, right? So that is positive use, negative use. If you want to have the permanent bliss, happiness has duality, unhappiness. And there is another word, bliss, which has no dual word against it. So it's a happiness and may have unhappiness as counterpart. Bliss does not have counterpart. Does it have? There is nothing like unbliss. So Paramanand, what we say in our language is Ananda, which comes from the true self. So if you want to have that or want to find that, try to get rid of ego. So three directions: positive use of ego, negative use of ego, and try to get rid of ego. How to do that? We'll discuss that. So one thing is all different human beings are different manifestations of ego at different levels, right? Number two, can anyone become happy by hurting anyone's ego, Ishana? No. But do we tend to hurt anyone's ego at one or other time? We try not to do it, but it can happen, right? So it says that this crowd, there can be n number of people, it's not an issue. But when there is a crowd of ego, there is issue, right? So the another vision given is try to keep awareness that let my mind, speech, and body not hurt any living beings, any human beings, or any being's ego, even to slightest extent. Not hurt, nor make anyone hurt, nor support anyone hurting anyone's ego, even to slightest extent. And if we want to get best work or be friendly with someone, we should try to positively support anyone's ego, not with our ulterior motive, but selflessly we can try to boost. So if we can boost anyone's ego, the best works can be done by that particular person. So only two things happen in the world: either ego is hurt or ego gets a boost. What would you like to have for ourselves as well as for others? To boost, right? So this is another awareness. The third thing, okay, how and why ego is there. Einstein said ego equal to 1 upon knowledge, right? More the knowledge, less is the ego. Less the knowledge, more is the ego. So reciprocating, I should try to find out if my ego is working more, where is my knowledge, or what is the level of knowledge. And there are two kinds of ego. We'll discuss. One is doership ego, and one is ownership or ego within myself, state of being. So doership ego, I did this, I did that, I did that. Whenever the things are working according to my expectation, I say, oh, I did it. If the surgery goes nice, patient gives me compliments, oh, I did nice. But when something goes wrong, then, oh, I did my best. Your body did not respond properly. Your immunity. Then I don't take it on my. So I try to find out the what was not correct for. So I speak dual language, not knowing how the things are happening, right? So if I try to understand a little bit, what all can I do independently, and what all can I not do independently? So in all these situations, am I independent? Can I say that I came here independently and talk to you? Apparently, it seems. In a deeper sense, it is not. If she doesn't invite me, if she doesn't invite you, how can I come and talk to you? I don't know you, you don't know me. So many circumstances are required for one particular happening. So is there anybody who has control and command over all the circumstances? Gross to subtle? Probably. Huh? Never. Yes.
Not the universe. He said the universe.
Universe. What?
The universe.
That is a different story. We are talking of ourselves. Is there any individual who has control or command over all the circumstances? No. So all these happenings which require the circumstances gross to subtle, so many circumstances has to come together in a harmonious way for the things to happen, right? Kalpana Chawla spaceship, only the thousands and thousands of circumstances were all right, but one circumstance, thermocouple was not there and things crashed. Suppose this takes rest for 2 minutes and the doer is sleeping nicely and snoring, still it works. Do we ever think that who runs this machinery, doer is sleeping and snoring? It's running. So first thing is, all these are things are happening. It happens by accumulation and dispersion of circumstantial evidences in a scientific way. Scientific circumstantial evidences wherein I am not independent but I am instrumental doer. I am one of the important evidence but not the only evidence who can control and command everything. So if I understand this particular thing, if I understand only one thing, how the I is functioning, my ego will go down because I cannot manufacture it. I cannot keep it functioning. So more and more correct knowledge about the things happening, and my ego of doership will go down, down, down like anything. Right? So people say if you have everything under your control, there is no need to become stressful or worry. If you don't have the controls, there is no use of stress or worry. Either way, they are useless, right? But a little thought. So, doership ego and ego about state of being. I'm Shailesh. I believed when I was born, I had no name. Then the name was given. My name is Shailesh. Then it became I am Shailesh. Fine, it is good as identity. Everybody will recognize all the certificates and IDs have Shailesh as. That's fine. That's my identity for the world and worldly doings. But am I Shailesh or am I something more than that? Are you Ishana or your name is Ishana? Then who are you? You never tried to find it out?
A little bit.
Really? Should you try to? Or should everyone try to? Yes. So let's explore onto that. I say my name is Shailesh. So who is I that he's saying is mine? When I say my phone, the object to which I'm saying is my, and the one who is saying is my has to be different, right? So do we say my mind or do we say I am mind? My mind. Do we say my speech or do we say I am speech? My speech. So whomsoever or whichever all the things I say is my or my mind, my speech, my body, my feelings, my karmas, my relations, my house, my money. So put aside everything under my or mine on one side. What remains on other side? Vanita, what remains on other side? I. Very good answer. I remains. Right now, my I and my are all mixed. But let's try to understand both. So everything under my or mine has a beginning as well as an end, right? Or no? Everything under my or mine, does it begin somewhere? Does it end somewhere, some point of time? No? My, I'm saying.
Like your name is.
My body. Does it have a beginning?
Being is
Objects under my or mine, do do they have beginning and end?
physical body, yes.
Yes. My speech, yes. My mind, thoughts come and go. Everything under my or mine has some beginning point and has some end point. That means they are of finite duration or circumstantial, having beginning and end. So if this is having
But he added my being.
my being is different, that is I. Being is different. I'm talking of objects under mine. My being is existential state. That doesn't fall under my. Objects fall under my. my body, my speech, my mind, my house, my money, not being. Being is a different thing. So belongings I'm talking of, or my, the things under my, has some beginning, some end, means some finite duration, or they are temporary and ever changing. Thoughts keep on changing, speech keep on changing, body keep on changing, everything keeps on changing. If it is so, one who is knowing that this has finite duration has to be infinite, has to be permanent. Then only it can label that this is of finite duration or this is temporary. Who knows that this is temporary? Has to be permanent. No?
Our physical beings.
Conscious, I'm talking of. True self. Has to be permanent, then only it can know that these are changing. It has to be non changing, then only it can know that these are changing. So the part of my or mine is ever changing, it is coming and going, circumstantial, and doer and knower both can be same or both should be different. Doer and knower both should be separate or both can be one.
You say nowhere? Sorry,
Nowhere. Like the
Knower, knower.
kind of versus them.
Knower.
I got you.
Knower. Sorry for my
No,
pronunciations.
I wasn't right brain.
So doer and knower cannot be same, they have to be separate. So who is doer here and who is knower here? There is somebody inside pure conscious which always is knowing and seeing what is happening in this part, good thoughts and bad thoughts coming and going, and this does the things, mind, body, speech are doer. But that is fine, but I don't know the knower. So if I know the knower, everything would be known. So Einstein was asked, sir, now what do you want to know? He said, now I want to know the observer through which I have observed everything. What is science? Observed, observation, and observer. So he talked about observation and observed, but he ultimately said, now I want to know the observer through which I observed everything. I'm not very sure about the observer and its properties. Very wise man, right? So the enlightened one says this thing, that if you want to now progress more, look within. What is at the core of being, of you? Right now, I'm living at a relative plane, and still I'm so happy and so moved so far. So if I look at my real plane, my true self, what would be my progress like? So for getting rid of ego at the existential state of being, the I sitting here is known as ego. I'm Shailesh, I'm doer. If my belief of I sits in my true self, that I'm pure soul self, having three cardinal properties, knowing, seeing, and bliss, which is its very nature, then this I will remain, but this will be on a relative plane of functioning, and my true I will be knowing that I am true self or pure conscious as a knower, seer, and blissful. So that's where you start your journey getting rid of ego, right? So these are the three things about ego as well as about our true self, right? Now, shall we talk anything about beliefs and opinions? Do we have beliefs? Do we do we experience, perceive, and experience the things out of beliefs through our beliefs or independent of beliefs? Through our beliefs. My beliefs are different, everybody's beliefs are different. So, whichever are according to my beliefs, I feel happy. The things which are not according to my beliefs, I feel unhappy. Not that the things are bad, but they are not different from my beliefs, right? So we have beliefs in everything, eating, dressing, dress codes, what should we eat, what should we, our worships, everywhere we have beliefs, belief based things, right? So I should become aware of the beliefs which are hurting me or others and me, and I should try to correct them. And I should nourish the beliefs which make others happy and in turn me also happy. This is about the relative plane of being, beliefs. Sometimes we have beliefs that our son-in-law or daughter-in-law should be like this or like that. If it is different from that, then we find it difficult to adjust, right? But if I'm aware of the beliefs system, then the other person may be good otherwise. I just need to become aware of the beliefs. And talking a little about the science of beliefs, I was pleasantly surprised when I looked at some scientists' work. Bruce H. Lipton, you can Google it out. He's a cell biologist working in the field of cell, molecular cellular biology since almost 25 to 30 years. He came to a conclusion and he wrote a book, Biology of Beliefs. Very good book. I found it a good book. Even though he was a cell scientist, somehow he concluded after 25 years that your beliefs affect everything, including all the cells of the body and even to some extent genes of the cells. Change your beliefs and you can change your life. And a new branch came in epigenetics. So far, we were believing that genes are constant, they cannot be altered throughout your life, and that's what they control you. He said, no, it is your beliefs which control you, not the genes. And even the genes can be altered to some extent, that the new branch epigenetics came out. So, this is the value of the beliefs and belief systems, but nobody is aware that I'm through the belief system or beliefs are driving me, right? And opinions. Do opinions play a role in our life or they don't play? Always, right? And we always label it as good or bad, ought to be, ought not to be, should not be. Without asking, we put on going stamps. Suppose if I have adverse belief for him, no sooner somebody talks about him, even if he is not there, my things go bad. If I have good belief about him, opinion about him, somebody talking to him, I become happy. So opinions are my own bindings, but I'm unaware of the opinions being harbored within me. So similarly, if I know my inner world a little bit, then I can make best use of it in my for my happiness, for my harmony, and other things. I wish to remain happy. I wish to remain harmonious. I wish to remain positive. But without knowing my inner machinery, how can I do that? Right? So it is worthwhile knowing your inner world little bit, if not in detail, for being able to make best use of it or live in a best possible way for it. Right? And if I have some negative opinion about somebody, for in my self interest, I should change it to positive. How can I do that? Rose is a thorn, and my mind is complaining of thorn. I'll show the flower. So everybody has some positivity. So my mind is speaking, he's not a good person, he doesn't listen to me. And if I can show something positive, no, but he's always helping. He's a true at heart. Then that negativity will be counterbalanced and it will become positive. So I should know how to change my opinions so that it does not hurt me and hurt others. Right? Uh, a true story shared by someone when we had a full day seminar at Australia, and at the end of seminar we were just chit chatting. So one person shared this story with me that a couple had filed a divorce case, and judge listened to both parties as he had a duty to listen. After the formal session was over, judge requested both of them that I want to see each one of you individually in my chamber for a few minutes. Would you be okay? He said, okay. What's wrong? So he called wife. She said, okay, you have filed divorce because what are your problems? So she listed all negative points which were inside. So then judge asked, okay, fine. Note it down on one side. But when you were married and when you had selected him, at least there would be some positivity. It's okay. Yeah. So he listed some positive points also. Similarly, he did with the husband. Then he said, okay, after 1 week, we all three will meet. You can tell the negative points, but also speak the positive points you feel about each other. And when they were read out, both of them felt, okay, the other person is finding so much positive in me, the mind changed. Both might become positive. A little change, they lived happily for the life. So this is what happens. Because we don't know the machinery working, after a while, it starts showing us negative about some persons. If I don't know how to handle that machine in my interest, my finger will be captured in it. Mind is showing me negative opinion. I don't know how to handle it or change it, then I'll be trapped into it. No, he's not a good person. He's like this and like that and whatnot. But if I know how to change it, the situation will become wonderful, right? So this is how the inner science is working. Very simple, but very profound. Did you like that? It's worthwhile doing because each one of us has life, right? Each one of us want to become happy and harmonious. And it's very simple, very easy, very practical. Doesn't ask you for any hard penance, doesn't ask you for any rituals or traditions, doesn't ask you to renounce anything. Just correct understanding versus incorrect understanding. Any questions? I would request you one thing. If you have enjoyed this, we have a lot of material. So you can go to write down. You can write down later on the website www.jssvitragvignan.org. Just you can put little information about you, and when you open it, there are much resource material over there. You find spiritual books, Hindi, English, Gujarati. You go to English, and there are good books there. So you can read something to keep it nourishing. We'll also give you something through her. Little things, very simple things. Then we just do record such things on a YouTube. You can go to YouTube JSS Satsang and you may have some things to listen to. Go back and listen also, right? Because there is a rule that one time you hear some part goes in, part of it is retained, other may get evaporated over a period of time. But if you nourish it for some time, maybe 21 days or some more time, then it goes inside you and starts working, right? It's like you have brought a very good small plant from a nursery. So do you water it? Do we take care of it to be for it to grow and bear the fruits? But if I don't nourish it, just keep it like that, then what happens? It withers out, right? So this is something unique. Something I have found it very unique and very simple, very practical, it very unique. No hard work. So I feel like sharing with you because my master shared with me without any motive, worldly motive. He had only one motive that whatever happiness I have, let one and all attain it, which we try to carry little to 5% and not in your interest, in my interest. Because I don't know how much you will be benefited, but I certainly get benefited first. First principle. So that keeps me driving, right?
We get to work on the puzzle every day.
Sorry.
We chat about it almost every day. They love. Yep. Their plant is watering very nicely.
You have planted worry.
Water.
Watering. Yeah, that's good. All right. What's the time? 11:45. So it's your domain now. Whatever you want to do.
Very good. Well, we'll just quickly do a closing to all the teachers in the like everywhere, both the people that we learned from here, the Shailleshanandji, thank you for coming, his master, and all the masters that are ever present. So we're going to do a prasna, which is like a prayer, a homage to him. So if you just share.
See, what she's saying is, I can just make it a little simple. No, you're right.
They're used to me being
I can add little bit more, or I can share something more. So it's something like this that if I want to learn eye surgery, I need to go to expert surgeons, right? Standing by side of it, I'll learn. Similarly, in universe, if I want to have the understanding, or if I want to move higher up, my focus should be who are the evolved ones, or who are the having the understanding in the universe. So it starts from right understanding or correct understanding to self-realization to the ultimate absolute ones. So whether we know directly or we don't know, but our heart is I bow and respect to all those who are having such correct understandings, then self-realization to the zenith of the journey, that is a final state. And what is that final state? So in a human form, what can be the highest state which is achievable or which is achieved by someone is one wherein this mind, speech, and body they are so purified that this anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment, and aversion are totally cleared off, zero. As a result of that, the covering veils go off. So the inner light, light of pure conscious, which is supposed to have the infinite knowing power, infinite seeing power, or perception power, and infinite bliss, totally gets uncovered, opened, or manifest. And it is said that in present times we are trying to look through telescopes and other things. The previous times with this opened out inner light, everything of the universe got reflected into them, and they could bring out the science of material as well as conscious both. And then they shared with the mankind so that mankind can have the benefit for their own journey on this path. So this is the absolute. So we are knowingly or unknowingly trying to respect or get connected to the light from small degree to the ultimate degree, light of true knowledge, light of correct knowledge, which can help my journey, right? And the science is if someone likes a footballer, we'll put a picture of footballer, so gets that energy or gets connected. So similarly, when we're trying to connect ourselves with the enlightened ones, we are providing ourselves inner boost so that we also can have a journey towards that light. That's a simple science. Okay, now you can add whatever you want to add.
So
All right.
to me, the words are in Gujarati. That will do, but whatever image you want to hold in your mind for who is that,
Yeah,
visualize.
you can do for your it's whatever is your perception. And as I said, there are books which will explain all these things. On you can go to the website and download from the English section. Will be there's some of the books are there, and there is some more understanding into that. Unfortunately, we cannot physically carry so much things. Whatever we carry, we just get exhausted of the stock very soon. But still, we have some English. We'll share with you. We'll love to share with you. Okay. Jai Satchidanand. And thank you all for allowing me and giving me opportunity to be with you all.
Yeah. So, 1 minute layout, and
Ha,
then go
ha,
to
sure, sure. So meanwhile she's coming, we can have a short projection or bhav or prayer, and then I'll speak in Gujarati and then I'll transform it into English for you. Okay? Sant પુરુષોનું યોગ બળ સત પુરુષોનું યોગ બળ અને જ્ઞાની પુરુષનું યોગ બળ સમસ્ત વિશ્વનું કલ્યાણ કરો સમસ્ત વિશ્વના જીવો સુખ અને શાંતિને પામો સમસ્ત વિશ્વના જીવો મુક્તિનો માર્ગ પામો જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ. The meaning of this is I'm heartily praying and projecting that there are three kinds of people who are beneficial or useful to the mankind. One is holy people, we say, Santa Purush, which are not living for themselves, their material life, but has the at heart the good of others. They for themselves use very minimal things for their living, but all the time they have in their attitude how they can the others can be happier. That they are known as holy people. Then Satpurush is one who has the realization of eternal within them, a step higher. Realization of pure self, realization of eternal, living with that awareness and progressing. And the Gnani Purush means the enlightened one who is having the experience of relative self as well as real self and can pass on that knowledge to others. So the others also become blissful. So we wish that all the inner powers or inner state of being of all such people be graceful or be useful for the common welfare of one and all, so that one and all in the world may receive peace, happiness, and harmony, and few of them may even progress to the ultimate aim of salvation or liberation. That was the meaning of this bhav or projection, right? And any bhav or projection goes to the nature, our atoms and molecules go, and they may work positively, but even before that, I am getting benefited positively when I'm projecting positively, right? So while praying for the welfare of the world, I am the first one whose welfare is included into that. All right. Thank you very much. So we go with Aarti.